have some big thoughts on AI and the legal practice. Technology in general has been on a big uptick.
There's just delays everywhere.
It was even beat into our heads in law school that all you need is your yellow legal pad and a can-do attitude.
My name is Christian Cooper, and I serve as corporate counsel.
Alison Slotzve, and I manage Gemini's litigation support team.
Miss Alison, have you ever mentored or been a mentee of someone else?
Yes, both actually.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, that's
well,
awesome.
One of the nice perks about Gemini is, of course, we care about our people, we care about our culture, and in order to ensure that we're keeping our culture as positive and how we want it to be, we have a mentorship program here. So I have been involved with that and help to mentor people to learn about our company culture. But aside from that, yes, I have also had mentors to help me and guide me along the way throughout my career.
I didn't know you had a mentor. Do you still talk with them?
Occasionally.
Okay. Yeah, it gets harder.
It
over
does.
the years.
Things change. Life changes. Things get, you get sidetracked. We get busy.
I would love to hear about your mentor. How did you form that relationship?
Through school.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Was it someone
professor
at your school?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay. And they took you under
Yes.
their wing.
Mm-hmm.
Give me more details about that. What does that look like? So they just one day are like,
I think
here.
it just kind of more came about just naturally, just conversations and just realizing she felt that I was very similar to her, starting out in a very similar field, and
did you
just
ever
really helped me
formalize the
out.
relationship, or
No.
you just looked to that
I
person
looked
for
to
guidance?
her for guidance and as a mentor. No, it wasn't like as formal as, say, like the program we have here, which is very formal.
I'm
and
your
has,
mentor.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Cool.
So no, but it just naturally evolved.
Okay.
To that.
I myself have done some having taken phone calls from law school students, explained the process to them. I don't know if anyone thinks I'm their mentor. I've had people who have interned under me here at Gemini where I've helped them out in their own career. Mm-hmm. And they were doing paralegal school. And I said, hey, this is what the legal career looks like.
Right.
You can do a project with me. I'll give you some feedback. I have a mentor. I've collected people over the years who have helped me out, but I officially have a mentor. And I made sure that person knew you're my mentor. It was my first job out of school. And it wasn't even right away. He showed up maybe 6 months, and he got hired as an attorney there. And he'd been a career attorney forever. We worked on all these cases together. And I think I impressed him because he would call me Philo, first in, last out. And then because I got that nod of respect, I was able to work with him more. And the more we worked together, the more I learned everything. And it's a weird feeling that, and maybe I'll speak for myself, but I would imagine a lot of people go through this emotion. You push through college. Mm-hmm. You are able to get a score equivalent enough on the LSAT that you can get into law school, survive law school, pass it, take the bar, fortunate enough to come out on the other side. So when I got my first job, I was on top of the world.
Right.
I knew everything. You couldn't tell me anything. And then you get humbled really quickly
Real
by
fast.
that senior paralegal who knows how to practice better than you
Right.
do. So I had my mentor hold my hand through everything past that. They showed me how to be a real attorney, how to handle clients, I think one of the best things they taught me was how to stick up for myself between like intra-firm dynamics, stick up for myself to the court, and most importantly to clients, because when you have a lot of clients and you're private, they expect a lot from you, and you have to let them know, hey, I love you, but I don't think about you 24 hours a day. I have to go do other stuff. And that's hard for a client to hear.
Definitely. How important do you think it is for people new to the legal field to have that sort of support and that sort of relationship?
With a mentor? Mm-hmm. I think it's imperative. Actually, I don't think I would like to say it's a non-negotiable, but I understand that there are situations where maybe you've been on your own your entire life and it's hard for you to find that person, and then you start off from the jump going into a solo practitioner career path, maybe it's harder to find a mentor, and I appreciate that. But if you are able to, there's a 1% chance you can be successful finding a mentor, go get that, because they have put their foot in their mouth and they have stepped in all the puddles, and they can show you how to walk around a lot of minefields. They've already done it.
Absolutely. I think that's a big thing that you can't really teach in school is office dynamics, office politics, like just the little ins and outs and just things you need to be aware of that you won't know until you're actually out in the real world.
My first deposition, I didn't think depositions would be hard. The prep was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. We had a deposition crazy early in the morning. I had to go to a corporate complex I had never been to. There are two identical buildings, both like 28 stories each, and they were feet away from each other. I went to the wrong building. I went to the wrong floor, into the wrong room, and I had my mentor being like, "Where are you? We're about to start without you." And I had to sprint down 28 floors, go over, come up. I got into the room and I was dripping wet and sweat, and I had my bag and my suit, and I'm here, and you look like a child, you know, because you've messed up so bad. We start. I'm supposed to go first. I'm so flustered. He kicks it off because he's the senior. He knows he's already prepared.
Right.
I was supposed to be the one that was to showcase my skills here, and I didn't. He does a phenomenal job, but it's so early in the morning. I am only staring at the coffee pot that is on the other side of the room.
Oh no.
And I'm not even objecting. I'm not writing anything down. It's like 7 a.m. for a deposition. I'm not focusing. There's a line of question that makes our client upset, and our client he tears up. He has an emotional reaction. So we ask for a break, and we all stand up. Opposing party on the other side, or opposing counsel, and us on the other. Mentor and client go out the room. I do not follow. I go to the coffee, and I'm not even thinking about the client at this time. I was just so young and naive and focused on myself. And I was pouring coffee, and my mentor opened the door with everyone in there and was like, "Hey, Mr. Cooper, can I maybe see you outside real quick?" And I immediately knew, oh my gosh. We go out, and fortunately, I didn't have to save face in the moment. The client went to the bathroom, and my mentor was like, "Hey, let me give you a little bit of advice. Maybe, just maybe, if your client's crying and we go outside, maybe you come with, and you're there for the client." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have failed you again. I'm so sorry." And all of these are just to show like someone there to hold your hand through the process.
Right.
I actually went back into the room and was so flustered. I didn't know what to do with all of the cream and sugar that was like on the table. I brain meltdown, threw it into my bag, and finished the deposition. And walking out of the deposition, really upset about myself, got a great pep talk from the mentor, which is why he was such a positive impact on my legal career, of how he was able to teach me, reprimand me, and then give me this is how we're going to do better in the future. While trying to find my car that I had no idea where it was, I put my hand in the bag, and it was just a soup of cream and sugar.
No.
And then I pulled the key out, and I was beeping it, but it had been under water, under cream for so long. I had a full breakdown in a parking garage, and I was just crying, and I called my mom. I was like, "Hey, Mom, you can't come get me, but I just have to call someone. I'm stuck in a parking garage," and I was crying. Security came and found me crying and helped me find my car.
Oh.
But my mentor got me through that experience. And when we showed up the next day into the office, not only did he not hang me out to dry in front of the whole firm, but told other people, like our managing partner, how good of a job I did.
Oh, that's nice.
And like, actually, I think I'm feeling a little emotional just telling the story, how much he looked out for me, because firm life can be very cutthroat. And I think he knew I was a good attorney. Just had a bad day.
Yeah. Everybody has bad days. So that really helps to have somebody there to help hold your hand through the bad days.
Yeah. And newsflash, I had other bad days. The rock star you see in front of you today had a lot of bad days over the years.
I bet you never put creamer in your bag again.
I have maybe a couple times put creamer in my bag since then.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But not the whole container. I don't know. I have full panic. I was holding it. I didn't know what to do. Actually, it was their creamer, the firm's creamer. So I just stole a container. I think I know the firm's name, and I won't say them because I don't want to pay them back for their creamer.
I'm sure they've already forgotten about that.
I hope so.
I think you're good. There's a statute of limitations on stealing creamer.
I'll have to look that up. Creamer theft statute of limitations. I have to be well past it. I'm in the clear now. You can't get me now. Well, let me ask you this. What has changed from your first legal role to now? Maybe business practices or technology?
Oh, my goodness. A lot. Technology, definitely. That's
Okay.
ever changing.
Yeah, that's fair.
My role has changed. Business practices have changed. The only thing that's the same as the company is Gemini Legal.
What challenges do you think these new associates are going to bring up for their mentors? Or better stated, what challenges do you think mentors run into now with the associates?
I think that definitely just even as a manager, seeing now some of the younger generation that I have come in and start working here is this was the generation that did school online because of COVID and went through a pandemic. And I think that it's a little more challenging not to have that, not as much interpersonal experience, and the work from home issue doesn't seem to help, or doesn't help much. It kind of contributes to that. So there's little bits like having to get to know people in a virtual way is harder than getting to know somebody in person. So I think I know that there's a lot more that happens, a lot more activity that happens online now and virtually now. We have virtual hearings now. There's just some less FaceTime, I think. But I know that that's just me personally. I know with a lot of firms, it's still very much in person.
I think in the practice of law, grab 100 years ago through now, those mentors were teaching how to hang a shingle and open a firm, and how do you fill this form out and do accounting. And I think as technology has adapted, a lot of those minor skill sets, maybe of specifically running a firm, has evaporated from the utility tool belt that the mentor needs to have to teach the associate. Instead, now it's more of not just firm practices, but how to just focus on being a good attorney and leaning on technology to do some of the other stuff. How to submit receipts and how to enhance your filing speed. And I think the mentor's job is to say, hey, make sure you use these so you can free up space so you have more time to learn just how to apply the law and become a better practitioner. You have a lot of people who bubble up to you as a manager, that report up to you. How do you really keep your finger on the pulse of all those people and be available as a mentor for them digitally?
It's a challenge for sure. I want to make sure people are still engaged and still plugged in and involved with Gemini Legal, with all of our culture, with all of our.
How does one do that?
You've really got to. I have to set aside a lot of time and effort into reaching out to them and communicating with them in their way, on their level, and just really trying to engage them to make them feel comfortable, welcome. Just give them all the tools that they need to successfully do their job. Make sure that I'm answering their questions, helping them out with problems. And it just takes a lot of effort, a lot of scheduling, a lot of intent goes into coming up with things to do. We do every other week, we do a little game with the teams just on Wednesday afternoon. It's voluntary if you've got the time to jump on, and it's a quick 20-minute, we all take turns coming up with something. So it's just a fun little check-in, get to know you, but nothing serious. It's not work related. It's just for fun. And just little things like that. Just really I keep notes on when I have meetings. I make sure to have not just with my supervisors who report to me, but with their employees too. So I do skip level meetings and I take notes on just little things that they say and make sure to follow up with that. Make sure to ask how their dogs are.
I had a managing attorney who, and I think you can do this in person and digitally, one of the best things she would do for me, and I didn't know in the time, I always thought she was just picking on me and making my life really difficult. But looking back, have realized it was a huge learning opportunity. I would go into her office constantly with a stack of papers or filing and ask for help. I would say, hey, how would I do this or do that? Or I'm doing this thing. And her response always was, why? And then we would sit in awkward silence. And, I don't know. And I realized, I didn't have that answer of why I did that thing. So I'd go find it and I come back and, I'm doing this thing because. Okay. But why? And she kept asking me, for years, she would ask me why. And I would go home thinking, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing. But really what she was doing, even if I was right, was forcing me to go get this correct technical answer and embed it to memory, because I was so uncomfortable not having the answer to why when I would go speak with her. And it would take over years. I would come in and know what she wanted from me, but also know the purpose of which I was doing this task. And the whys
That's hugely important.
fell off over the years it stopped doing that to where she was like, I get it. That makes sense. Oh, I would go in there sweating every day.
Well, I know one of the most valuable lessons I've learned here is asking yourself 5 whys. Why am I doing what I'm doing? What's my purpose? What's the point? Why am I doing this? Because if you don't know why you're doing it, then how do you know if you're doing it right? You've got to know why.
Are you saying you stop and ask yourself why 5 times before you complete something?
Well, just to get to the root cause. It's just a basic root cause analysis of why is this important? Why am I doing this? What's the purpose?
We have a tenet here at Gemini Legal that is building. You obviously work in your business a lot, but the work on your business. And I think the on would be like this holistic overview of the company and figuring out how every team interacts with one another. And I do think that there are opportunities for others to ask themselves the why, because they know how it affects their team right now, today, and they want to create a new policy or procedure based on their team and how it's affecting them in this moment. But they have no idea how it affects every other team or cascading or waterfall effect. And there are a lot of calls that I will get on and ask them why, or say, did you know this other team's been working on that for 6 months? Oh, I had no idea. You should ask why more often. And it's not just like a mentor's approach. A willing mentee, should be looking to answer questions like that a lot more often. Challenge yourself first. And if you're not willing to challenge yourself, why would someone want to come in and help you take you to the next level? Have you ever been taught the finer things of your professional image? Have you ever had a colleague, mentor, call it what you may, come in and say, oh, I think that's going to hurt your rep. You should or should not do this thing?
I have not, no, but I could see where, especially nowadays, how that could be problematic, because I'm old enough, luckily, that all of the stupid things I did when I was younger, there's no evidence of it. There wasn't social media back then. We didn't have that. There was no Facebook. So I could see now why that could be a problem. Why just whatever you do, even in your personal life, if it gets made public, could harm you, your reputation, your firm's reputation. And that could be a big challenge. So it is very important to be cognizant that your behavior not only can affect you, but it can affect your job.
My law school sent me through, not me, sent the class. I wasn't singled out. I wasn't a bad actor. But we sent the incoming 1L class as part of our law school boot camp, learning what was expected of us through the next 3 years, to a quasi Southern Belle etiquette class where we went on a networking event to a huge firm in DC, and we were in this big skyscraper, glass windows, mingling, and unbeknownst to us, they were recording things we had done throughout the night, and then they came back to us, and I learned a lot of stuff. I learned how to carry your shoulders back and always go say hello to the host of a networking event. Even if it's an organization, you go say hello to all of them, thank them for their time. I learned on the East Coast, like you don't have a meeting without A, an agenda, and B, food. People just will not show up. That's like basic etiquette out there. When you do, and we were taught this, so I don't know if this translates to every single facet of every profession, but we were taught if you're taking networking photos, try not to take a photo with a drink in your hand. And if a drink is in your hand, it shouldn't be beer or dark liquor. It should be white or a light liquor
Really?
or a glass of white wine.
I've never heard that.
For whatever reason, we learned that it tested negatively having that in the photo. So then we did a next week follow-up, and everyone was hiding drinks at networking, because attorney networking events, it's an open bar usually. So everyone's hiding drinks or putting them down before photos. And that was how we learned from our mentors to be professional.
Wow. That's actually a really valuable class.
Yeah.
It sounds like. I know a big thing that I make sure to teach all of my new hires and people that we're training is how to not only be, because we deal with a lot of mail, and it's how not only to be sensitive and to be discreet with our clients' information and their clients' information, but even just with other employees' information. And I think that that's also very important, is just making sure that people understand it's just nowadays you've got to be very careful. Like with Gemini Legal. Being the employer in that and getting served documents for that, getting served with wage garnishment notices, things like that are just, it's sensitive. It's sensitive information. It's not necessarily HIPAA protected, but it is just sensitive. You have to teach that discretion.
I remember having to learn, and it may sound obvious, but having someone say it out loud really drives it home of, if you're going to bring work home with you, don't leave your bag in the car.
Right.
Or if your bag has to stay in the car for whatever reason, don't leave it exposed. You put it in the trunk, or you hide it, or a blanket if you absolutely have to. And those are rules that I never learned until someone said it, because I never thought of doing that.
Right. Yeah, those are, you would think it would be common sense. So I always make sure if I have to stop at the grocery store on my way home, I make sure I put my laptop in my trunk, just because I don't want to, it is password protected, but I don't want to invite that trouble if I don't have to. But I think there's all kinds of little things about just being discreet with information. I think in the legal profession especially, we do have, of course, laws about privilege and things that you can and can't discuss. But it's also just the smaller things of, I think goes to be discreet with your fellow employees' information as well. Just be a better person. Don't go, don't go talking about other people's business,
Sure.
Whether it's on social media or in person.
I remember experiencing for the first time having my full book of business of clients. And when you're in a private practice, and this is pre-COVID, so our clients weren't as spread out, it was really localized. The attorney-client privilege of the relationship exists with the client. I cannot go tell the world I represent you.
Right.
It's yours to tell. Always. 24 hours a day.
Right.
So when I would see clients at a grocery store, I could not say hello. And there were a lot of times I would make eye contact and look away, and I would have clients come up and go, "Hey, did you not see me?" And I have to pull them to the side and say, "Hey, we're in public.
Right.
If you acknowledge me, you're letting everyone know that you have counsel. Are you comfortable with that? Do you understand you're breaking that privilege?" And that was hard to get used to, especially in my 20s.
Definitely.
To ignore everyone and turn your back on them. I mean, not being rude, but it's not my privilege to break.
Right. That's got to be difficult.
Actually, I remember very specifically the managing partner I mentioned before. She gave me that speech. "You're going to experience this," and no, I'm not. That's never going to happen to me. I think a week in, I just started seeing all my clients everywhere I went.
Of course.
And I was, oh my God, I'm trying to hide in bathrooms and make sure they kept the privilege, but it's inevitable. And without someone showing you the ropes, it was very helpful to have someone say, "You're going to go through this." How do you handle, maybe not just in your manager role, though I do think it goes hand in hand with being a mentor, someone who's above, and you instinctually offer advice to others. But how do you handle both, I guess, manager and mentor to when one of your people make a huge mistake, a significant error on a case?
Oh, wow. That's hard. It's always hard. I try to be empathetic as much as humanly possible to just everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's going to mess up. I know when I am training new hires, I tell them you are going to make mistakes. It is inevitable. Everybody does. There isn't usually anything we can't fix. As long as you come and tell me and are open with me about it, we can fix it most of the time. But occasionally we will have a mess up that can really be bad, and sometimes we can't fix it. And it's just a difficult thing to navigate. I just try to be as understanding as possible. And it's really depends. To me, it's not so bad with the mistake. It's how are you going to act to fix it? How are you going to act and behave to make sure that that never happens again? That's more important to me.
You're going to hear this line and go, where are you going with this? But there's this Orlando Bloom movie where he gets knighted, and part of his knighting, he just gets whopped in the face, huge slap across. And he's, oh, what is happening? And the guy who's knighting him says, that's so you'll never forget this moment. And it's funny because he ends up doing that to other people later in the movie. Oh, bam! You'll never forget this moment. But when I missed my first deadline ever, I had to send out notice. I was 24 hours late to sending notice. Went to court, had a notice hearing, and everything went out a day late. Ugh. So the court's like, hey, we're going to push this back. You're going to redo notice, and we'll be able to move forward. When I got back to the firm, I had to go sit down with the bigwigs, and they gave me the slap. What are you doing? How could you ever do this? You're a professional. And then after the laying in was all done, they hit me with you'll never forget this. You're okay. You're fine. You've had the fear of God put inside of you now, and I promise you this won't be your last mistake. But then they it felt like a ritual. Like they hyped up this moment of, oh my gosh, you're in a lot of trouble. Oh no. And I had to go to a conference room and sit down with all the partners. And it really was just this good job on making your first mistake. Is you need to learn how to be graceful in your failures, and you're going to be okay. It was a really unique experience because I was like, oh, I'm getting fired. This is awesome. My career's over. I'm done being an attorney because I missed one notice period. And it wasn't. Like you said before, most things you can get over, and you can probably fix most issues. And honestly, when you make that mistake, and you're feeling it probably more than anyone else because you made the mistake, you more likely than not won't do it again.
Right. It's a learning opportunity.
I'm not inviting error, but I'm not afraid of it. I would embrace it. Put that on a shirt.